Audi Sport, the division that for years supplied us with naturally aspirated and turbocharged power plants under the RS banner, defined by noise and aggression, has now formally transitioned into the electrified performance era. Meet the all-new RS5 generation, the first plug-in performance hybrid ever produced by the brand. Yes, that is exactly the case. The RS5 can now be plugged into a socket to recharge. You are watching Speed Logic. Drop a like, subscribe, and let's move. The RS5's styling makes it absolutely unmistakable that this is the top-tier model in the lineup. The newcomer's body has grown 4 centimeters wider than the standard A5 on each flank. Pronounced wheel arches reference the iconic Audi Quattro and immediately signal its motorsport DNA. Up front, the single-frame grille with a sculpted three-dimensional honeycomb pattern takes visual control. Tinted matrix LED headlights featuring a checkered flag lighting signature define the car's identity and make it easier to recognize in traffic. At the rear, as expected for an RS model, a diffuser with vertical fins is paired with matte oval RS exhaust finishers. Those outlets have been repositioned closer to the centerline, and not everyone will welcome this approach, as it carries a slightly plain and almost everyday appearance. The exhaust system for this model was created entirely anew. Its valves are capable of opening at any variable position, delivering a tailored soundtrack depending on the selected driving mode. For drivers who consider the standard level of intensity insufficient, the Audi Sport Auris Plus package is available. It adds enlarged air intakes, a redesigned bumper, forged 21-inch diamond-cut wheels, bronze carbon-ceramic brake calipers, and exhaust system with matte black tips, and a maximum speed of 285 kilometers per hour. In addition, the exclusive Bedford Green exterior shade is offered strictly in combination with this package. It cannot be ordered independently. The cabin follows the control center philosophy characteristic of modern Audi interiors. It features a curved MMI interface composed of a 12-inch digital instrument cluster and a 14.5-inch central touchscreen. An optional head-up display projecting a tachometer directly onto the windshield is also available. There is also a multi-function steering wheel equipped with RS mode selectors and a dedicated boost activation button. An 11-inch passenger display is present as well, integrated in line with current industry trends. And what does this newcomer deliver from a mechanical standpoint? You are about to learn. Technical section of the episode. To begin with, the latest RS5 generation is now offered in both Sportback and Avant body configurations, something that had never been available before. The coupe variant has been removed from the catalog, which personally disappoints me considerably. The sedan tips the scales at 2,350 kilograms. The wagon version comes in at 2,370 kilograms. That is, to put it mildly, a substantial figure, yet entirely predictable for a hybrid drivetrain. Nevertheless, Audi engineers insist the vehicle feels agile and responsive, and judging by the engineering choices, they invested significant effort into achieving that character. The front suspension has been upgraded with revised control arms, joints, and bushings to sharpen steering precision. The rear axle was engineered from the ground up to accommodate the new transmission system, and the body structure itself is now 10% more rigid compared to the standard A5. Reduced flex translates into greater accuracy. The RS Sport dampers with dual-valve technology can operate in 2 modes simultaneously, independently regulating rebound and compression, smoothing out road irregularities while maintaining firm body control through corners.
In other words, this is a suspension setup that pretends to be compliant when you want comfort and instantly turns aggressive the moment you press the right button. The steering system has also been recalibrated to match the personality of the RS badge. It operates with a 13:1 ratio instead of the softer setup found in the standard A5, which is entirely expected. What stands out even more is that the braking system functions through a brake-by-wire architecture. During deceleration, the system first harvests energy through regeneration, and only when additional stopping force is required do the conventional friction brakes step in, which makes perfect sense considering the RS5 is now a hybrid. As standard, the car comes equipped with 420mm steel discs at the front and 400mm at the rear. An optional carbon ceramic setup offers 440mm discs up front and 410mm at the rear. It reduces overall vehicle weight by 30 kilograms, and in this specific case, those brakes are absolutely worth the extra cost. But the most intriguing element is the one Audi keeps emphasizing in every section of its press release. That is the new Quattro system featuring dynamic torque control technology. The company describes it as the first of its kind in a production vehicle. Essentially, this is its debut, and it will clearly migrate to the next generation RS6. What is the principle behind it? An independent permanent magnet synchronous electric motor rated at 8 kilowatts and 40 newton meters is integrated into the rear drivetrain. Through a planetary step-up gear set and a conventional differential with light preload, it distributes torque between the rear wheels, doing so almost instantly, to be precise, within 15 milliseconds. According to Audi, that is roughly equivalent to a single human blink. The torque variance between the wheels can reach up to 2,000 newton meters, while the vehicle dynamics controller recalculates the optimal distribution every 5 milliseconds at a frequency of 200 Hz. For comparison, the human brain processes stimuli in approximately 200 milliseconds. That makes the RS5 40 times quicker than its driver. What is the purpose of this system? On corner entry, it stabilizes the vehicle. On corner exit, it shifts torque to the outer wheel, effectively tightening the car's line into the turn. In addition, the RS5 features a clever rear-biased mode. It is comparable to the drift modes offered by Mercedes and BMW, which means, yes, Audi can now slide sideways as well. Working alongside all of this is a newly developed center differential with preload. It remains partially locked at all times, enhancing turn-in and reducing understeer when lifting off the throttle. Torque distribution between the axles ranges from 70 to 30 to 15 to 85 in favor of the rear. As you can see, Quattro continues to evolve and adapt. And what lies beneath the hood of this newcomer? Let me explain it properly right now. The world has changed, and the RS5 has evolved with it, yet at the core remains the familiar 2.9-liter V6 TFSI gasoline engine. It now produces 510 horsepower, which is 60 more than its predecessor delivered. Paired with the combustion engine is an electric motor generating 178 horsepower and 460 newton-meters of torque.
The outcome of this engineering package is 639 horsepower and 825 newton-meters of torque. Unfortunately, it did not dramatically improve acceleration figures. The additional mass of the hybrid system made its presence felt, and the sprint from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes 3.6 seconds. However, there is an upside. Beneath the luggage compartment floor sits a 25.9 kilowatt-hour battery pack, supplying the electric motor through a 400-volt architecture, allowing you to travel up to 90 kilometers purely on electric power. In other words, you can theoretically commute from home to work in near silence, and your colleagues will never suspect that under the hood lives a 2.9-liter turbocharged beast with variable geometry turbines, ready to assert itself the moment you pull out for an overtake, a true double identity. The combustion engine itself operates using the so-called Miller cycle. The intake valves close earlier than usual, improving efficiency under partial load conditions. Put simply, the engine has learned how to be more economical. Although, realistically, who buys an RS5 to save fuel? The newcomer is also equipped with water-cooled intercoolers. They are integrated here as well and reduce intake air temperatures before it enters the cylinders, even under extreme operating conditions. The injection system functions at elevated pressure levels. In short, Audi promises that peak output is available instantly at the command of your right foot. For those concerned that the battery might deplete and limit full system performance at some point, Audi has addressed this issue. In RS Sport and RS Torque modes, the system does not allow battery charge to drop below 90%. The electronics constantly monitor energy levels to ensure there is always electric reserve power available for dynamic driving maneuvers. In other words, your RS5 actively conserves battery capacity for driving enjoyment. And now we arrive at the most important part, the price of this experience. In Germany, Audi asks 106,200 euros for the four-door RS5. The Avant version costs 107,850 euros. That is substantial money for a vehicle that will spend part of its life connected to a charger. But it is also substantial money for 639 horsepower, a new advanced drivetrain, sub-4-second acceleration, and the ability to glide silently past your neighbors early in the morning before delivering them a full acoustic performance on the way back. Orders for European customers open in the first quarter of 2026, with deliveries scheduled for the summer of the same year. You have several months to prepare your garage, secure a charging cable, and come to terms with the fact that your RS now plugs in like a smartphone and carries the weight of a hippopotamus. Progress in its purest form. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and to make sure you do not miss upcoming videos, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments about the latest developments in the automotive world.
Bye!